Conor Gearty, Professor of Human Rights at the London School of Economics. Well known probably to many of you, lecturer, commentator, professor. I'm going to give him the floor almost immediately in October,
on the 9th of November 1998, when the Queen blessed the conception. So I'm going to talk about the life of the Human Rights Act. Okay? First of all, its parents. It had two parents. These were its parents. New Labour and civil society. Why did New Labour and civil society come together to decide to have the Human Rights Act? Answer: New Labour was in despair. They lost endless elections. They had a chap called Mr. Kinnock. They thought they'd find New Labour. They believed the claptrap they learned in university, that there was a system in the United Kingdom whereby there was a constitutional obligation on parties to lose, and it hadn't worked. It looked as though Labour were out forever, and they decided to be no longer New Labour, or Labour become New Labour. And one of the ways in which they were New Labour was, we're not really socialist. Don't mind all that stuff. I have to do it in order to please the unions. And one of the ways in which you signify you're not really socialist is you agree to be bound by human rights. So they bound themselves by human rights. Just like a man you won't remember, you people, Harold Wilson, bound by human rights in 1966. Same thing. I'm a socialist, but you can take me to Strasbourg if I take your money. And it was called the right of individual petition. Did exactly the same thing. So Labour is always trying to show power that it's not serious about radicalism, and one of its ways is to embrace human rights. Civil society is the other parent. Civil society cared deeply about human rights. It all started with Mrs. Thatcher. There was 1688, and there were lots of articles and books and protests about how we had no freedom in Britain, we were becoming a police state and all that sort of stuff. And there were real civil society efforts to have human rights. And it became a big rallying call in the 1990s. And gradually, when Labour, through Mr. New Labour, Tony Blair, won civil society, I love that microphone. I love it. That is so powerful. Are you behind this? When Labour won, civil society got together and they produced the Human Rights Act. What conceived the Human Rights Act? This is slightly twisting actually, because the parents should conceive it, but actually the conjugal relation is the source of today's problems. The conjugal relation is between British English nationalism and European cosmopolitanism. The Human Rights Act is a creature of those two together. Now, why British? There's no such thing really as British nationalism without empire. Empire gave Britain its nationalism. Around the world, exploit it for your own advantage. It's a nationalistic goal, but it doesn't do so anymore. So it's really English nationalism. Did you know that when New Labour were arguing for a human rights bill, they ran a manifesto commitment under the heading of taking rights home, bringing rights home? That's what they called it. They didn't call it a new future for Britain or anything. They said bringing rights home. So they adopted and Peter Mandelson, who was then big New Labour guru, they had a little bulldog that they said was a Labour bulldog. So they were trying to take English nationalism and own it. And human rights were therefore getting human rights home. And then the first white paper was rights brought home. So that's heavy English nationalism in 1996, 1997. But the other partner in the birth was European cosmopolitanism. So the Human Rights Act was not a measure which, when it eventually was born, conceived and born, was not a measure with good old ye olde English rights. Section 1 was the British Bill of Rights is actually the European Convention on Human Rights. And Schedule 1 is the European Convention on Human Rights. And Section 2 is about the court, and so on. So this is a mismarriage. Is it nationalist? Is it cosmopolitan? New Labour was trying to be both. Now, Hegel apparently said, I learned this at the conference I was at yesterday, Hegel said that creativity is contradiction. And this is a contradiction. But it was a necessary contradiction, and it allowed Labour to win, and it allowed Tony Blair to mesmerise British politics for a number of elections. And contradiction works, but it collapses in the end, which you can keep it going as long as you can. What happened to the Human Rights Act? It was conceived the 9th of November 1998, bless her Queen, and then born on 2nd of October 2000. Why the gap? Because you know what? Some of you remember, there's not many of you, some of you. There was even an issue in 98, 99, 2000 that the Human Rights Act would never be implemented. You know that? It was being implemented in Scotland and Northern Ireland as part of the devolution settlements that had applied there. And the British government, which was now the Labour Party in government, New Labour in government, which had enacted the Human Rights Act quite quickly, was beginning to regret it. What have we done? What's this Human Rights Act thing? It's allowing all these druggies to get out of prison. It's requiring certain burdens of proof we haven't thought were necessary. What about all those terrorists? And so in even the space of a year and a half, they were hardening their position. And in a very, very important way, when you try and work out why the Act is so weak today, it was disowned by its own parents very early on. Section 2 of the Human Rights Act says, look folks, you've got your nice new Human Rights Act. Strasbourg is out there and it makes lots of decisions. So keep them in mind when you decide cases. Now Lord Bingham decided, well, keeping them in mind isn't enough, because if we ignore them, what will happen is it'll go to Clare's lot, and they'll tell us we have to obey them. So wouldn't it make sense to anticipate what Strasbourg is going to do by taking into account and following the cases in Strasbourg? In anticipation of such cases, and we'll cut the numbers of cases going to Strasbourg and so on. So it gave us a new verb in English law, to ulla, to follow a case from Strasbourg. So they read the Human Rights Act as essentially taking the jurisprudence of Strasbourg and applying it. Sounds completely fine. It's not completely fine, because the bully is banging on the window, trying to get at the Human Rights Act to throttle it. And the bully is shouting from outside in towards the judges. And the bully is saying, you judges are obeying a European master. Oh my goodness. In the mid-noughties, it suddenly became a terrible thing to take seriously European case law. Out of the blue, it suddenly became a terrible thing. And everybody began to talk about it, because the papers and all these ridiculous politicians began to talk about it. And so it became shockingly wrong to support the Strasbourg case law under Section 2 of the Human Rights Act. Now it looked as though the Human Rights Act was going to be got out of the House in Strasbourg. The Conservative Party was there with the Lib Dems from 2010 to 2015. The Lib Dems, you won't have heard of them, they're a small little party that used to be run by Lord George. They were protecting the Human Rights Act by throwing their tiny little body in front of it whenever the bullying government tried to get at it. And then in 2015, by mistake, the Conservative Party won. And part of their manifesto, of course, was to repeal the Human Rights Act. And it looked dicey. But then something happened. I don't know if it's ever happened to you in your personal life. You're being bullied by someone, and the bully's getting at you. And then the bully sees another charge and wanders off to attack the other charge, like a demented gruffin. And so they went off because they found another target, because the same ridiculous manifesto in 2015 had included a promise to have a referendum on the European Union. So the other enemy they found, for whom the attacks on the human rights law had nearly been a proxy, the real enemy, the thing they truly hated, which they'd hated for years, but mainly they'd been lunatics, as Mr. Cameron called them, I think, or nutcases, but now they are becoming normal, was the European Communities Act of 1972. And another European court they hated even more than the European Court of Human Rights, though mostly they didn't know the difference. The European Court of Justice. And I'm convinced the so-called laughable, now long disregarded red line about the European Court of Justice was based on a confusion. I am convinced that the government thought it was the European Court of Human Rights. Detail not being essential if you were a populist purveyor of Trump. Now, that meant, with the fight with the European Union, that they forgot the hate the Human Rights Act. They forgot they hate the European Convention on Human Rights. And we heard about the settlement of the Hearst case. Do you know 2 years ago, hundreds and hundreds of MPs said they would die on the beaches of Dover rather than allow have a single prisoner ever vote ever anywhere. They were passionate. They were hysterical. There were hundreds of them had special motions. The papers were full of them. Nobody talks about it anymore. It's gone. It's gone because they're not, the bullying is not going so well with the bigger enemy. They should have stayed in their little world of strangling the Human Rights Act. Because the European Union, they taught. And when Mr. Howard suggested, and it's interesting, just as predicted, that Gibraltar would come back to haunt them, that we should send a task force to that other small island. Nobody did. And the bulldog bully, as we now know, has bitten off more than it can chew with its attempt to attack the European Union. And we now face, if I may do a little Brexit deviation, in a tweet that I had up for about a minute and then took away, we face in Britain a choice. We can be either Germany after the World War I and accept Versailles, or we can be the no-deal Confederates in 1865 and prepare for General Sherman. Because, of course, it won't be the forces of General Sherman, it'll be the economic forces of an EU that will destroy the place. So that's the choice the country has, to stay in post to defend the positions they've adopted. None of them. Michael Gove, a leading Brexiteer, is too scared to be the Secretary of State for Exiting the EU. He preferred to be Secretary of State for Agriculture, telling lies about his transformation of agriculture and fishing. It's absolutely outrageous. Boris Johnson ran away the minute the going got tough. And now announces that Mrs. May is trying to have her cake and eat it and what a scandal it is. But because we're in this Trumpian post-truth world, apart from what nobody seems to mind, there is a really serious problem, potentially out of scapegoating. And the Irish Taoiseach would be scapegoated, and the Europeans would be scapegoated. Elites, like your boss here, the scandalous European elites, who are not even from England, trying to stay in the country, the going could get heavy. And what will happen is, part of that scapegoating will be a new Bill of Rights. They won't, I don't think they'll just repeal the Human Rights Act just like that. They will rework the Human Rights Act to make sure that foreigners can't use it. If you think that's impossible, read the report by Martin Howe, QC, a very honest conservative barrister who's fiercely Brexit, who was in the Commission on a Bill of Rights. And he actually explains which rights you'll be allowed to have if you're a British, which rights you'll be allowed to have if you're a European, but they were all subject to the European Union, which would disappear. And if you're a Johnny foreigner, well, you're lucky to be here. You're lucky to be here. Carry on cleaning the floor. And if you feel like torturing you or some bit of unlawful prisoner, well, you know. So, the bit of, I wrote a piece in this journal called the European Human Rights, States of Denial. It's a way you wreck rights. You don't wreck rights by saying, I want to wreck rights. You wreck rights by saying, I want to improve rights. So I want to have an even better Bill of Rights. But they can never come up with any rights that would improve the current position. But you don't have to anymore in politics. What they have come up with is a restriction on the ambit of the rights that they would propose.